90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. If you wanted to tune in to the show that you just heard about, well, you are here just in time. Not just in time for the music underneath. Wait. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Welcome to the diary room. The diary room. A Big Brother commentary show. My goodness, we started this show all the way back in the summer and
back in the what month?
back in the
I believe it
Back in
was
the August.
July.
Back in the July.
many moons ago, over 90 days ago. And if you haven't been keeping up with Big Brother, you're gonna get a handful of spoilers.
I mean,
If you're
it's
tuning
over.
in
So
live.
can we do spoilers or no?
If you haven't watched the finale, that was like so many days ago. So if you haven't watched it yet and you're listening live, you're about to find out a whole lot. We started working on our account, the diaryroom.wmsc, on the 17th of July. That's how long we've been setting this show in motion. We're here live on the 17th of October to talk all things BB26. It has come to a conclusion. We'll do a little bit of we're gonna recap. We're gonna reflect on how we got to the conclusion that we did. But again, if you haven't watched the finale, we're about to tell you some stuff. Starting with, let's just start with the winner. Let's just get this out of here because we're going.
Jump straight in.
Let's jump straight into that because we have to address the items
Yeah.
in the room
Yeah.
and ourselves. I am one of your hosts, Emol, and all my draft picks lost.
You were close.
It
Lol.
was close, and we're
Well.
going to talk about that. So I am wearing an item of shame. I'm wearing purple duct tape upon my head. I feel like an Among Us character every time I wear this. But someone in this room did have the correct pick, and he will introduce himself.
I am the other host, Chris, just Chris, obviously. Same thing every week. I haven't changed. I'm not production. We have had a little addition in the past few weeks. We have production. But I knew the moment that I chose this beautiful woman to be on my draft pick, I was going to be I knew she was gonna win. Well, no, I didn't, obviously. But either way, thank you so much, Chelsea, for pulling out the W, bringing it home for my draft pick. So that means if this becomes an ongoing show, I will be the reigning champion, and we'll have to see whenever the next season comes up. If I make more draft picks, I just gotta keep the streak going.
Mm-hmm.
Cause once Final Five hit, I kind of had a feeling that she was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the moment that you trap Mackenzie, Cam, and Chelsea were all in the same house. Like if none of them were removed from that situation or from that trio, Mackenzie and Chelsea would have taken each other to the end regardless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that would have been, I think I would confidently say that would happen for either of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Chelsea would have taken Mackenzie, which we'll get into the specifics.
Which we will. We will talk about that.
I think that if the cards fell a different way, I think the outcome would have still been the same.
I fear you're not wrong. We shall get into all of that, but we do have one other person. Whom are you?
Yes. Hello. I am not trapped in the room, as you could tell from the background. I am production second only to Mr. B himself, Joe Verga.
And so, yeah, we're going to talk about how did we get to Chelsea being the winner of BB26. A week ago, we had our last episode when I think Rubina was still
in the game. Thursday was
and Thursday Rubina was evicted. The sole vote to evict at that point was Mackenzie, who voted in front of the house. There's no need to go into our diary room.
I still think it would have been really funny if she came in here, told America, and then told
just
I'm gonna evict Rubina.
Delay the inevitable.
No, literally.
It would have been kind of funny, but she cast that vote to evict. Rubina took it pretty well. And there she was sent into the jury house. And then the final three end up being Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam. And so if you were unfamiliar with how the end of the game goes, the final three, they participate in 3 games for HOH. Even because Chelsea was HOH the week prior, she still gets to participate. And the first was an endurance competition, like I assumed it was going to be. But the theme was interesting. It's like
I love the last few. They killed it.
Yes,
they killed it, and you called it too, Mal.
What? Which
when
part?
you said that the final the HOH parts would be like taking down Ainsley.
Yes.
I remember specifically when you said that.
Yeah, I was hoping that was going to be the case, because that was kind of, they made Ainsley evil. I mean, I feel like she was maybe neutral at best earlier. I never thought she was truly good.
Yeah.
And then they went on this arc about Ainsley becoming evil. I'm like, they're going to have to do something about that. Also because they did something brutal a couple weeks before, and I wanted to bring them back, but we could talk about that later too.
We'll talk about that later.
And we definitely will. But yeah, what was kind of funny is they brought back like the robots and all the creatures that were on the side, and I recognized them immediately because one of them is a robot Boston Terrier, and I have a Boston Terrier, and I just loved that. The only competition that Cam won.
I was about to say, the competition with the dogs was the only one that Cam won.
Yeah, and they brought the dogs.
They brought the dogs out of the crib.
They brought them back. And so the 3 house guys had to basically hold on for dear life and just stay on this craft as long as they could, beat the other people, while there was also CGI lasers being shot at them that then made goo leak out of the ship.
I hate it.
And into very weird on their backsides. That is what they did. It was only there in the back of their necks. Why? That is
because it was cold.
And definitely would make it uncomfortable.
And I think, wasn't Mackenzie the first one?
Mackenzie was the first to drop.
Ball. I was like, wait, maybe we have. Do we have a moment?
I thought that Cam was gonna win. I really did.
Sorry.
I
really did.
I mean, okay, we're standing here again. We're talking about when there was the final 3. We don't know who's winning. I am one of the people who most of the time will vote, will hope for the best for the underdog, for the person that you don't think is going to win. And I've been saying I do love this season. I think it was great. We'll reflect on it more, the outcome later. But the only thing that I don't like is this ending period where everything just became pretty predictable. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting here like, wait, Mackenzie, the so-called comp beast, fell before Cam? Maybe he could win this.
Well, I have bad news.
Lol.
I have really bad news.
LOL, because nah. But also, this season remains so interesting because I don't remember what the amount of time the competition took, but it wasn't that long, was it?
I think it was less than 40 minutes.
Like, it was definitely under an hour, which is
crazy when you considering a couple weeks earlier, a competition of holding a stick in place lasted 9 hours.
This season is so weird. And like I said, the ending became pretty predictable again. Most people knew who was gonna end up winning, but they are unpredictable in that way where it's the shortest OTEV ever. I think it was
still mad,
if not the shortest wall competition, it's among them. Angela has the record for shortest amount of time on the wall of like 3 minutes. And like cut last year, I think it was like Suri who was up there for like 6-ish minutes, cut that in half. So, always defying, always telling us to expect the unexpected.
I was going to say, I saw a TikTok. I forget what exactly it said, but this season was record breaking in the fact that it broke the most records.
Is that true?
Yeah, I would think so, because it feels like every single week there was a new freaking record.
Yeah.
They had the most vetoes. They had the shortest wall, the shortest time on the wall, shortest OTEV, freaking, I don't even know.
The CBS account did do like a rundown of some of their records. Some of it is stuff that we are going to talk about in a little bit, so we could do a recap of that. But it's true, as it is predictable at the end, because that is simply what happens for the most part. This is why I was hoping for Cam. Cam drops, and Chelsea is the winner of the first HOH, first of 3 for the HOH competitions.
I think it's crazy to mention that Chelsea beat 2 D1 athletes.
Good point.
That was like what she was like. I'm the only one who's not like an actual like athlete, and I'm out here like slaying
in this physical competition. Exactly.
She put on the armor of God.
Yeah, and I feel bad though. Like Cam, he kept going in the diary room and was like, "I'm gonna show them that I win when it counts," and he didn't. And
every time
I feel bad, because I know he did try. And I mean, the good thing is that I don't think anyone could leave this season thinking he's a bad person, which is
absolutely
good. Like,
not.
He's got this like fun vibe.
I love Cam.
He's got this going for him. People are gonna at least remember, he's good. He's and I mean, he made it to the final 3, even without the physical aspect, which is great.
Does third place get a stipend?
I don't actually know.
I would assume.
I think third place gets something. I just don't know if it's the stipend or if it's a prize amount.
They never add the only two that they advertise is second and first.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 50,000 for third place. Oh, I would assume maybe they've tweaked the numbers, because this is back when the prize was 500,000 for the winner, but it says the runner-up gets 100,000 and third place gets 50. So I don't know if they've reallocated funds.
Oh, interesting.
Or
they must. I'm
other things, or they've just made more money, like, and they've been able to give more to the winner and just keep the same prizes for second and third place. But
perchance.
Mayhaps.
Oh, yeah. Runner-up gets 775.
Mm-hmm.
So the runner-up gets a little less. But I believe third place stayed the same.
At 50,000?
I think third place is still 50. And then runner-up gets 75.
Bro, he could bring all his dogs out to dinner. His dogs in the crib.
Hey, $50,000 is still $50,000.
I was going to say, $50,000.
Like, that's still a ridiculous amount of money. Hey, man, like, you want to kick somewhere? Like, I got college.
And the thing is then he gets that much money for winning one competition.
Yeah. Also, it's taxed a lot less.
Yeah.
He's actually making a decent bit more of his 50,000
for staying somewhere and winning a competition. That's pretty.
Hey,
but again, this is no, like, he's still a great social game. Clearly,
of course,
you can't make it at this point unless you have something like that. So shout out to the Cam in the crib, and but alas, he did not win this first part. So
I'd beg to differ.
You beg to which differ?
I beg to well, I mean, like, yeah, everybody
the
liked
social aspect.
Everybody liked Cam. But he just kind of got lucky in the sense that he was aligned with the 2 best players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue that either. I think that's where he didn't have
just like Schrodinger's. Like, you wouldn't know if they didn't make it that far.
No, I think he did have a good social game in that aspect, but to compare his social game to Chelsea's, you can't.
No, exactly.
100%, because she proved herself even more so when she's had, she was a target for a little bit, not even though, but kind of like around
sort of kind of
with the Cedric vote.
Yeah.
And when Brooklyn was being targeted, where she had such a great social game proved that by taking herself out of it. Cam never really put himself in a spot where he even had to prove himself like that, which maybe in itself is good. It's all good.
But that's just because he didn't win any competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different demonstration of a strong social game.
Uh-huh.
I guess he had a good one. She had an incredibly strong one. But we're at the second of 3 competitions for HOH, where it is between Chelsea's minions, Cam and Mackenzie. And they're continuing this theme of defeating Ainsley.
I love this competition.
This is good. I wish I paid even more attention to it. Also, I like that I didn't even address the Friday night episode, by the way.
Oh yeah. It was a round table.
Mentioned there was it was like that show when they all like sit and they have a nice dinner. They're like,
remember this?
Yeah. Definitely prompting. Definitely prompted.
Prompted the whole thing. I did like the Jennifer Coolidge impression from Angela because I saw that like clips from the feeds. I enjoyed that they showed that, but it wasn't really like mind-boggling. But just I guess to address it, I mean that happened.
It did end with Derek coming in and the start of the first HOH comp, so it was kind of
because there's that Derek, the winner of BB16, a fan favorite season, and air quotes re-entered the house in some capacity. There were videos of him enlisting the house guests, help me defeat Ainsley. I'm trying to go undetected. He's undercover. He was an undercover cop. I don't know if he still is. I don't know if he could be so undercover if he was on national TV.
He's probably living his best life.
He is. I know he's got like a podcast.
I was gonna say he's probably he probably invested a bunch. He looks like he's smart with his money.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
He definitely took that money and put it somewhere, and now he's like able to just live very comfortably. So go Derek.
I'm glad that he was back. People have varying opinions about BB16. You either love it or you hate it, but I think if you hate it, you hate it to be edgy. Online, I've mostly honestly been online.
It is all online. I love 16. I will come out and say I love BB16.
I compare it to if you listen to a band and your favorite song is their most popular song. It's like, well, will you listen to any of the other ones? And they go, like if you listen to Panic at the Disco and your favorite song is High Hopes, that is if your favorite season is BB16. However,
I feel like though, like
I liked the season.
Yeah,
but I liked it.
Sometimes like an artist's most popular song is their best song though.
Panic at the Disco is not the right example for that.
Well, in that case, but like I don't know.
You're right.
I'm trying to think.
No,
I can't really think of anything.
It's true. Now. Well, my first thought that came to mind was Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. And it's only years later where I'm like, oh, that is really a good song. I just didn't like it because I was edgy. But
hey, emo, we know.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not anymore. I'm still emo, but I'm not edgy.
I know what
anyway,
you are.
Exactly.
I know what you are. But I did like 16, so I was glad that we had a little callback to him. That he didn't like re-enter the house to play or anything. Like obviously he wouldn't at this stage, but like for a season, I'm like, let him live in the house. Like it was such a good season. But I'm glad that they brought him back to do a little comp. And so yes, that was introduced on Friday. That was the first level of the comp, and then he returns saying, Ainsley's getting even worse. We have to destroy the whatever
AI brain.
And so he tasks Cam of all people, task Cam and Mackenzie to do this, and there were like 2 levels of this puzzle. There was
Can we talk about how they trained a raven?
Yes, they fly across.
I think that is so extra. I love it.
Wait, you know what the raven sounds like? Yeah, that's what the birds
sounds like.
The birds in the house, and they trained a raven to give the competition instructions to Chelsea, who was hosting the comp. It's because Derek couldn't do it himself. He was getting a little too dangerous. He was undercover. I had to send a raven. And the edit was pretty dramatic too.
Yeah.
And I do love at this stage too, more than ever, Mackenzie just didn't care. Like what I thought was funny though, the whole season, I feel like there was a breaking of the fourth wall. There always is. They literally talk to the audience in the diary room, but I feel like there was a lot of breaking of the fourth wall, mostly with Angela. It's like, this is Big freaking Brother. Like the whole season, it was really with Mackenzie at the end, just her facial expressions. We're just like, you seeing this too? Like I know you're watching America. What's happening in front of me right now?
It's like The Office.
And I loved that.
I love that.
MJ Office moment. Raven helps the house guests enlist again Cam and Mackenzie to destroy the brain. There was like a puzzle that they had to complete involving like a column rotating, and they had to get the peg out. Yeah, like a vertical maze. They had to get this peg out, and then they had to attach like cords to other like ports, but all the cords were different lengths, and they had to figure out like how to plug it in the right sequence. And essentially, if there's like 3 pegs on one side, that's the first half of the comp, and then there's the second half of the comp, but the first half has 3 pegs, three parts to it. Basically, I'm really sure Cam was on like the second peg.
He got one out
of part 1
when the competition ended.
When Mackenzie won.
It was bad.
Oh, Cam.
I love how they just cut away to Chelsea. She was looking at him like, come on. You have to do better.
I don't even want to speak too poorly on him though, because I don't know how I would have done.
I am honestly like glad that he won or he lost though, because his final like big, because every week he was talking about a big move that he had to make to get people in his favor, and his big move of the final 3 would have been getting rid of Chelsea. And that was a no fly zone in my eyes, so I did not want him to win. I was rooting again. That was the one time I've ever rooted for Mackenzie, because I knew that she would take Chelsea.
The funny thing is that like Mackenzie was my last draft pick, but like overall, I still was hoping for Cam to win because I wanted him to do
something,
and I did also like want him to leave this season and be like, I did that.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that he left and he didn't, but he's still, of all the house guests, he came in with like, he's got the biggest following. I think maybe Tucker surpassed him now, but he's still got a huge following. He still has fans. He's got dogs.
No.
So he's doing fine. He's chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie does take home this win. Shocker. And the last competition is going to be between MJ and Chelsea. But we'll come back. So we could talk about the winner of that, and then we can go back, right?
What? The winner of what?
The winner of the last
part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about part 3.
We're gonna talk about part 3
because part 3 upset me, but like I also understand.
Why did it upset you?
It upset me because Chelsea, I can't believe her. She made me angry. She was supposed to win. And the fact
you saw it too, didn't you?
The fact that she second guessed herself on the last question was freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
She had the right answer.
Literally had the right answer. And she was like, never mind. And she let Mackenzie have it.
So this was like an A, B, or C competition.
It's the same thing every year, right?
But
they blew all their budget on not having the scale.
That's my complaint. Is where was the scale?
The budget went towards part 2. I would think.
Is it not their scale?
It's probably they have to like spend a lot of resources to get it done.
I missed the scale. I mean, I guess it made sense in the sense that they were kind of looked like they were in like a portal kind of AI looking thing.
Yeah.
Again, Mackenzie's facial expression, that was so funny. They were so real the entire time. Like they were giggling, they were talking to each other. I'm like, are they allowed to do that? Because I haven't seen people do it in that way. The audience reaction was incredible. Because what did they ask a question for each jury member? Was there like 7? No, there had to be 6 because Cam wasn't there yet.
It was 6.
Oh, spoiler. Chelsea won. There were 6 questions, and they Chelsea and Mackenzie were getting the same one pretty much every time, and the audience like it was incredible hearing them, and I think they could hear the audience back too because they were reacting. It was very funny. Like everyone
probably could hear because Julie's mic was like on and stuff.
And it was big reactions of like shook. But yeah, they answered the same way every time, and they got everything right despite second guessing the whole time. They're like, I have no idea, and then they happened to get it correct. Up until the last question.
I still don't understand how these people like remember it.
I have no idea.
No idea.
There's gotta be like a trick to it or so. I mean, I guess maybe like since I'm like actually in the real world and like I have a life, so I can't remember like
exactly
who was the fourth HOH in the season. Like
I need time. Maybe I could figure it out. Probably.
I was gonna say this is if you get to this stage of the game, all you do is pretty much memorize.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of is, like you said, it's like I have other things. I have to memorize my class schedule, my whatever, and they don't have any of that. They have no distractions. What else could you do? My thought is like if I was in the house, maybe I think I mentioned like, oh, night 1, this happened, blah blah blah, and then night 2 be like, so today is day 2, and this happened, blah blah, and on day 1, blah blah, and then day 3, and so on. I'm like, that's the only thing I could think of. But they probably did spend a lot of time studying. They got like games, they got like card games and whatever they were able to do. But at that time, there's so few people, and there's not even that much strategizing you could do because you already made the connections or you didn't. At this stage in the game, it's like, okay, let's just study. Question of like, what if you don't remember something? Do you study together? You probably shouldn't. But then you don't want to hide from an ally like critical information because you'd want them to win and take you and blah blah. I don't know. All I do know is I would do horrible in this comp. I would also do really bad in all of these competitions that they did for Final HOH. I think the only comp that I could be okay in is like the mini one. I want to think that I could be okay, and that's across the season. AKA, I should not go to Big Brother. But Big Brother casting, if you're listening, doesn't that make me great? You cast Cam. And
Cam. I didn't know about it.
Sorry, no. Shout out to the Cam. But
casting is open.
Casting is open. Fun fact, it's out there. Hi, Mom. Do you want to get rid of me next time? No, I'm just kidding. But in the very last round, MJ ends up taking this win, and Chelsea actually loses this comp, and then Mackenzie has to make the decision of who she is sitting next to in Final 2.
She's dumb!
And so...
She's so dumb! Sorry.
Your choices are the person who's won the game versus the person who has won the nothing.
Hey, he won a veto.
Who do you think you could win against?
She's dumb.
It's okay. It's because if I take Cam, then the jurors are going to be like, wow, Cam made it this far by doing nothing. We might as well vote for him.
If Mackenzie takes Cam, I think maybe Cam could have got a vote or two based on that. But I would like to think the majority of the jury would say, well, look at her game, my hand is really up high, and look at his game, my hand is as low as it can go.
It can go lower.
I think it could, imagine it's lower. I think maybe that would have been a vote or two. Like, who do you think? You think Quinn is going to be like, oh, Cam? No. Game recognizes game.
Yeah.
And I think that Mackenzie's shot at winning, because at this point, Cam doesn't have one. So sorry, Cam. If Cam, the only way in this Final 4, if Cam was against Rabina, they maybe. But it's not even worth entertaining because obviously
worst Final 2. First finale night to make $0. They might as well just like take the money from them.
Be like, we're gonna reduce.
We're gonna give
$5.
We're gonna split it amongst Tucker, Chelsea, and Mackenzie, and you guys are gonna get like $5.
Yep. Yeah. But
perfect.
At this point with this Final 3, I don't see Cam winning, but I could see Mackenzie. Because what can Cam say in his final speech that is really above what she's done because
I made it this far.
but that's his only line of defense.
Shout out to my dogs at crib.
I think that maybe it would not have been unanimous. But against Cam, I 100% believe that MJ could have won.
Exactly.
Which is exactly why she didn't do it.
As I screamed.
But like, is it really dumb or is it like,
yes,
I get that yes, it is a $750,000 decision, but I feel like at that point, are you kind of personally insulting him on live television?
No.
Kind of, though.
Let's go back to BB16. Didn't Cody win that last HOH and bring Derek when the other option was what, Victoria?
Because they were the hitmen.
They were the hitmen. And there's a moral aspect to this, which we could address as well.
Yeah.
But if you think about it,
it's a social experiment.
There was no way
that is what it started as, a social experiment.
Cody, he would have beat Victoria.
Yeah.
But brought Derek. This is like the same thing. But because we did bring it up, an important aspect of it is this has been an ally for months. And like you said, we're out here, like we have different people. I'm here with you guys right now. I'm going to be with different people in class. I'm going to be with different people unplugged, unplugged at 6 p.m. And other people when I go home, right? There's different people where they're stuck with each other the whole time. This is my bestie for the restie. I'm going to bring her to the final two because I am so emotionally invested in this friendship.
Yeah.
Is a huge aspect to it too. And that's how people make $750,000 mistakes. Now, I do think though, Mackenzie can leave the house losing and at least being like, at least I committed to this person. Maybe she needs that morally, and so be it. I mean, that she's not going to leave saying that she was this huge manipulator and this big liar. And if she brought Cam, then she would have manipulated Chelsea. The ironic thing, though, is Chelsea 100% manipulated Mackenzie.
Yeah, no, because the thing about it is that Mackenzie was so tethered to Cam. I mean, Mackenzie was so tethered to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Chelsea literally had both of them wrapped around her fingers. So whoever she would have taken the final two wouldn't have given her a hit morally, because she's still like, her relationship with Cam
Chelsea
was like just as strong as her relationship with Mackenzie.
Do you think that Chelsea
would have taken Cam?
Do you think she threw the competition?
Maybe. No, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense for her to.
Even if she didn't throw it, the outcome of Mackenzie winning was the best, because then Chelsea did not have to end up making that moral decision.
Yeah, but that's true. And she probably didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I still think that it would have made more sense for her, because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just, like, we have different morals. But, like, if I had the same relationship that I did with the same two people, I would have just taken the person I had a better chance of beating. You know? I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to, like, make that call, because, like, Cam literally won nothing. So it's not like you can say that he fought hard and he deserved his spot there.
Yeah.
And you can say that for Mackenzie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe she would have. I mean, like, it's not a 100% chance that she would have taken Cam, but it's not.
Chelsea would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes more sense, though, that for her to have done that.
Well.
Than for Mackenzie to have done that.
And even in the end,
it doesn't even.
She still would have 6-0'd.
It doesn't even matter.
Because
she still would have 7-0'd anyway.
So Mackenzie does win and in a nail biting competition and ends up bringing Chelsea. And Cam joins the last member of the jury. But to go before we get to that vote, we did have the jury roundtable.
Yes.
that was not hosted by Dr. Will. There was a little bit of speculation on who it could have been.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't Cody.
I'm so glad.
The rumors it was Cody from
I'm so glad it was.
I was unfortunately one of the people that were an instigator, AI instigator, in spreading those rumors because I did see it on social media.
I heard too.
He
Yeah.
said something
I am
about
so
it.
happy I was maybe it originally was, but then he broke some sort of NDA.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You
Perhaps.
might be right.
Maybe it originally was supposed to be him, but then when he started talking about it, it broke some sort of NDA.
Yeah, a contract.
Who knows?
man.
But what it did do was land us with none other than Taylor Hale, which is fantastic.
I love Taylor.
It's better than Cody.
It's so
Well,
much better.
So much better than Cody.
Anything is better than
And
Cody.
she did a good job too.
She did such
I
a
think
good
so.
I was skeptical at first, but I mean, like, she did a great job at it.
I think she handled it with class. I think she was very professional, but I also liked that she wasn't afraid to kind of tell it like it is
Yeah.
without spoiling
Oh.
anything. And that mostly came with the Angela bit when
Angela.
Angela was complaining. Was it at Chelsea?
I think you guys
and
think
Facebook for the Facebook's Moms of America.
And then Taylor's like, doesn't that sound like you?
I was gonna say, I was watching live. My family was like, I was watching on like my phone, and then my family was like, I forget what they were doing, but like they saw my face just kind of like drop, and like I believe it was my mom who said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "This is amazing."
And I thought it was great. I think she did a great job. I was very curious about what the vote would be like, kind of honestly assuming it was going to be between Mackenzie and Chelsea. And I was very curious about where Leah's vote would land because Leah was good friends with Mackenzie, not even just allied, but actually friends. And then Mackenzie ended up being the person to take her out. So I wasn't quite sure which direction she would go in. And then she's bringing up in the round table that, she would still vote for Mackenzie. And, I forgive her for voting me out. And then Quinn's like, I don't. I do not. Which
Because she's sick nasty.
wait.
You're sick nasty.
What I'm gonna do. But I enjoyed the discussion, and Quinn brought exactly what I knew he would, which is like brain, and was just like, look at it from this perspective, and look at it from this perspective. And we're gonna recognize this, and I don't care that this person was like this to me at this point, and blah blah blah. This is what the game is, and I expected no less from Quinn.
Yeah.
As a super fan of the show, that he recognized different aspects of it and recognized that Mackenzie getting rid of Leah did not make any sense for her game whatsoever, which is a huge thing that comes into play when we talk later, and. Also assuming, the trio of T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina would vote together no matter what. I will say I love Chemo. Like, just putting that out there. Like, I just think he's a cutie, and I wish we saw more of him in the show.
I think that he will probably they might bring him back for future seasons, like for small roles or something.
I would not be upset about that.
I would not be upset at all.
If anyone from this season were to come back, it'd probably be like Tucker will be back on an All-Star season.
He will be on something. He's
gonna be in the next All-Star season.
I feel like Tucker or Angela will be on the next All-Star
There's
season.
actually just zero reason for them not to bring him back.
I feel like before they even bring him back, though, he's going to be on like the challenge.
Tucker's
or
definitely on the challenge.
Amazing
The
Race
Summit.
or the
The
Summit.
Summit.
And honestly, I see Tucker going on there. So many Big Brother stars have moved to the challenge, like after Big Brother stuff.
What is the challenge?
I've
never watched it.
Short. It's essentially an MTV competition series. Sometimes they do crazy stuff with like teams, and think of it as all the different like reality TV shows: Survivor, Amazing Race, Big Brother, in a sense. All of them have a baby. That is the challenge.
Really?
I noticed that. I think I watched one episode and unfortunately it didn't stick. I'm not really good at watching TV as a TV major. My one go-to, I always tell people that it is Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like I watch like even fictional TV. I got halfway through Umbrella Academy, the season 6 episodes. Didn't even finish it.
The last season is rough though.
And I still but Big Brother is somehow I could commit to a 3 show a week show for like 90 days.
No,
out of a
because
year.
it's so interesting.
I commit to the bit. That's what's happening. But it was similar. The one Amazing Race season that I watched, it was like Big Brother, Survivor.
It was the
like,
one on Netflix.
Love Island kind of people, and somehow they're all friends after. So I'm definitely keeping track. I'm like, who's friends with who and stuff like that. But I 100% Tucker's going to be on something like that. I don't see them taking Angela off of our TV screens anytime soon. Sorry, Facebook moms.
You don't get her back yet.
But I guess we could get to the jury ends up voting. They before we bring the pre-jurors back onto the screen. So they voted. The only thing I could say about the voting was that they all said like this, I'm voting for blah, blah, blah. And of course, Quinn is the first. I'm voting for the sick, nastiest player. And I'm like, this is just a common phrase of yours, isn't it? This is not just like specific to Leah. Like you just use that phrase. And Quinn, I'd like you to know it has entered my vocabulary. It will not be going away.
Quinn, why? Why would you do this to us, Quinn?
Quinn, this is just know it is your fault and thank you. And then my favorite was I think Chemo was the one who's like, I'm voting for one of you.
One of you. I think it was Chemo.
Chemo was the one because
I love Chemo.
Chemo when I'm voting for one of you, then Ravina said I'm voting for someone who's taller than me, and then Cam missed the opportunity. He missed the biggest miss of the season for not saying he was voting for one of his dogs at the crib.
No.
Man.
Okay, wait. A quick moment to address. I do love Julie. But the fact that she kept bringing it up kind of ruined the bit. I feel like it was Cam and America. I feel like if she mentioned it to America, it was like our little joke.
Yeah.
Then the house started using it, and I'm like, no, please. And but if they were going to make it a bit in the house, why couldn't we do it soon enough for it to be his BB comic? Chameleon.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because we were talking.
You're so right.
It should have been that.
He could have been like a beast master.
It would have been so good. BB comic artist, you're doing a great job with what you're given. But I would love a dog at the crib comic. If I've got a Boston, you've got a Boston. Let's talk. Let's talk. A dog at the crib could be the Boston. I follow the Boston. I believe her name is Bao. So shout outs to Bao the Boston. And I would like some more dogs at the crib. My dog could join you. Anyway.
We can have a dog.
I think they kind of ruined the bit. Yeah. And now I'm done. It was like a meme. Like if a meme's online and then they start using it as a marketing strategy and it's in commercials and it's on merchandise, it's like, it's over. But it will be in my heart. The dogs at the crib are the friends we made along the way. But anyway, they cast their votes and then we bring the pre-jurors. And
that was just a mess.
I feel bad that Joseph's entire bit was just like, how's your home? How's your family? The hurricane. And he's like, well, the thing is, it was a very serious bit.
Yeah.
For someone who was like brought comedy to the show. I'm like, well, womp. But I mean, I'm glad he's okay.
Exactly.
But that was the only thing.
But it is true that like he almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they addressed it, but I do feel bad like that was his only like contribution to the night that they gave him, and they gave Tucker all the airtime. Now I'm not surprised. I mean, they Tucker's a favorite, the favorite. We'll talk about
it.
But what I thought it was interesting that like obviously Tucker and Rubina were separated by he didn't make jury and she did. Like he brought her flowers. That was cute. I was worried it was gonna be a ring.
When he was like, I got, and it was like, I'm like, please don't tell me this man is pulling out a ring. You've known her for less than 30 days.
He's not that stupid.
With Swaggy.
Yeah, with Swaggy and Bailey.
He
proposed.
Are you serious?
They're still together.
They are.
Together they have a family.
Julie fully said
them though.
I don't know.
Didn't something they
with Swaggy and Bailey?
Yeah. Well, because they were like together in the show, and then he left, and there were some other things, and it was complicated. But by the time it was finale night, he got a ring, proposed, and they're still together. So that's awesome.
No, I'm talking about like after the show?
After the show.
I have no idea.
Not to my knowledge.
I believe they're still together.
Yeah, I believe they're still together too. And Julie even addressed that Big Brother has been more successful than The Bachelor.
I thought that was
That's
fantastic. She's
really
like, not to brag or anything.
Like if you want to find love, don't go there. Come to Big Brother.
I mean, it's also because, yes, you only know someone for X amount of days, but you do form like genuine connections. I don't watch The Bachelor though. The most I've seen that and The Bachelorette is like a couple minutes after Big Brother in the past. Where I feel like it's I don't want to just say phony, but I feel like you don't get the opportunity to create a genuine connection with a person when there's someone looking at X amount of people. Whereas in the Big Brother house, it's like you just kind of gravitate towards someone. So I'm not super surprised.
Yeah.
And so I do hope that, you know, the two are destined for one another. I think they'd be adorable. The height difference is hilarious. I love it so much. And I'm glad that it was flowers and not a ring because, like, you know, take it slow. Enjoy living. They also don't, like, I forget where Ramina lives, but, like, I think
she lived on the West Coast.
The West Coast, and he's in New York.
He's in New York. Boston.
Okay. I just see him in New York all the time.
Well,
I hope I run into him.
Well, right now he's probably they're all probably in that area right now or something.
Well, they're also
we can go to New York.
They're all probably still over around California.
Yeah, they're still chilling there.
I think so.
For like the after parties and stuff like that. But I'm assuming they'll go to New York.
That's fair.
Because a bunch of them
they tour.
The big US tour, Big
Brother.
We'll look out for where to find them. But but they also had a lot of airtime for the Mackenzie Matt showmance. Where Mackenzie refused to refer to it as a showmance until finale night when it made sense in her speech and was like, I survived the showmance. And then Matt's like, they're like, what's gonna happen? And I'm glad that MJ had brain then and was just like, we're gonna see. Like, it wasn't a no, which is perfectly reasonable, too. I mean, she needs to get to know him, but...
She did only know him for 7 days.
We did have a decent amount of airtime for someone who left week 1, but you know what? Good for Matt. And he's kept himself relevant.
Him and Angela, though?
Him and Angela. Mm-hmm. Angela's hilarious. She's like, no, like, I don't care about you.
That wasn't... I hated that. Can we talk about how terrible that was?
I don't like that they put her in that spot, and I feel like...
No, I don't like that she took it that way.
No,
the fact that she still... Why are you still doing... Like, it just revived a little bit of the distaste that I had for Angela.
It didn't change my opinion. I still love Angela.
I
just genuinely like... I knew this guy for 7 days 3 months ago. I haven't been thinking about you. You could think that I care about you, but I don't. And with Matt, he's just been like stewing on it. Like, that's all he
never
knows.
Forgave him
Because I don't think she cares. I don't know. I feel like it is an unnecessary grudge, though.
It is an unnecessary grudge.
I also don't blame her for being like blunt of like, I don't care.
I don't like petty people.
Yeah.
I think I just don't like overly petty people, especially when it starts to project into your like mannerisms like it does for her. Oh, it just makes me so angry.
I think if we expected her to like fake it though, it would have been even like, yeah, man.
Well, but like, why would you fake it? If you're a genuine human being, you would be like, I met you 7 days ago and I mouthed off to you and it was a little funny and I'm sorry. And now we're like bros. Like, why can't we just be bros?
Why can't we be bros?
Why can't we just be bros?
Why can't we be bros?
I thought it was kind of funny, but I get it too. They gave again, like they want to give Angela a decent amount of airtime as well. A step that I do want to go back to because I said that the jury cast their vote, but it wasn't after the final 2 speeches. Chelsea's, apparently she was rehearsing for days. I thought it was pretty good. One of the best ones ever was Taylor's a couple seasons ago when, you know, she had all the analogies with like how she's not a shield, but a sword. And it was really impactful. And I could tell that Chelsea was trying to do the same thing, referring to herself as a diamond. And I think just in the context of Taylor, I was like, okay. But I feel like it was still good. MJ, her main issue is she kept saying that my game speaks for itself, which is not what we're asking for. We're asking you to speak right now. Please explain why your game is that good. And the jury asked questions.
And that's the problem with her game.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
problem.
Yes.
The problem with your game was that there was no game. It was just
comp.
it was relying
Yeah.
off the back of other people to make the social decisions for you. And when it came time to make the social decisions for yourself, you screwed up every time and you poorly managed jury.
And unfortunately, when she was asked for her biggest and strongest game move, she explained that her best move was one of the stupidest things that she did this season. She said getting Leah out of the house.
Oh my god.
Best move. It was laughable.
That's the reason we're
And
laughing.
Quinn's probably the like eyes wide open, like, oh, like, are you hearing this too? She said that one of the worst decisions
And to
in
say that,
Big Brother history, dare I say, was her best game move.
and
And
say
that-
in front of her on
that-
the finale.
That and say, wait, no, I lost it. No, I got so distracted by the stupidity. And say that it was her move.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't her move.
Incredible. What Chelsea 100%. Then Mackenzie was prompted to say her best game move. And she said getting Leah out was my idea. That was my best game move. Then Chelsea was the same question. And Chelsea 100% should have said, my best game move was manipulating Mackenzie to get her best ally out of the house. That jaw on the ground. It would have been fantastic, but she didn't even need it. Because we're wrapping up the show. We're
so
getting
many.
close to the end. And so Chelsea wins unanimously. The
Which,
entire jury voted for her.
might I add, makes her the first woman to play a perfect game.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that because there were the stats that I was talking about.
I think, did we find the exact same TikTok?
I'm going to, well, I found the Big Brother account posted some things, but
Is it this?
yes,
Got it.
that's it.
Is
But
it on their Instagram or what?
Here.
it's on the Instagram. So specifically to read about Chelsea, it's true. The Big Brother CBS account shares, quote, Chelsea is the first woman to have played the quote perfect game, meaning no eviction vote placed on her, unanimous jury votes, and winning the entire game. That's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
And so she didn't even need to do that last step, but I kind of wanted it. I think it would have been funny if, like, oh yeah, her best move is my best move, actually. I claim that one because she should have. As we wrap up the show, though, other huge thing to talk about is America's favorite player.
Yes.
I did get to vote this time. I was very glad. And
I fully voted for Tucker.
I split my votes between.
I won. I guess who?
Wow.
Tell everyone, Emol.
So some of my votes, a little less than half, did go to Angela, and the rest of them went to Quinn. Hi, Quinn. Shout out to my Quinn at the Quinn. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my love for Quinn. Because I had a feeling that Tucker was gonna win. Like if I vote for him, it just goes into the void. I also so badly wanted Quinn to at least be mentioned because Quinn was put on the block by America weeks prior. I'm like, I want this super fan to leave knowing that America does like him. So the top three ended up being Quinn, Angela, and Tucker, which is fantastic because that is such a great representation of this season.
Yeah.
But naturally the win went to Tucker, which is why we bring up this history making post that they put up, because Tucker is the very first pre-juror to end up winning America's favorite player, which is incredible. He made that much of a mark on the season.
I just feel like that's a product of the season being so fast, though.
Yeah.
The season was super quick, and the fact that every single decision every week in the house felt like multiple weeks was just like, he just did such a great job, and he fostered that. So
Shout out to Tucker.
shout out Tucker.
Very quickly to some of the firsts, where this is the first season on a regular season where a man was evicted, guaranteed to be evicted first. A new curse was the first 6 evicted house guests also voted no. in allowing the 17th house guest, known as the Ainsley Curse. Otev only lasted 1 round, and Mackenzie was the winner of that. 11 consecutive vetoes used, 12 if you count America's veto, beating BB15. The season took the most non-unanimous votes, the total being 9 in a row, and every HOH during the jury phase was won solely by women. We had, of course, Jerry O'Connell take the place of Julie Chen, and making Quinn the only house guest who wasn't interviewed by her. And there's a bunch of other things involving Mackenzie, and of course, Chelsea's perfect game. So that's a great way to wrap up our finale recap on the Diary Room. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Thank you so much for tuning into our show for the last 90 some odd days. And we still are on Instagram, the diaryroom.wmsc. We'll see you around. Stay tuned for more programming. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Diary Room. Bye-bye.